Hari.
जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज विहारी।
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे रामा राम राम हरे हरे।
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद।
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव।
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल, निताय गौर हरि बोल।
हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय।
जय
श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
जय
गुरु महाराज की जय।
जय
वीरेंद्रराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय।
जय
शिव गुण कृष्णदास प्रभु जी की जय।
जय।
All nourished assembled devotees. Hare
हरे
Krishna.
कृष्णा।
Thank you all devotees once again for joining our Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya daily Srimad Bhagavatam reading morning session. Hare Krishna. Sajjan Murari Prabhu also joined. Gita Madaji. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you all devotees. So yesterday Thursday we have completed 5.20.15. Last verse was 15, which we took yesterday. Thursday. So today we'll start with verse number 16 onwards, chapter 20. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Dado Jayamudire. Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Ruttama Shloke Bhaktar Bhavati Nashtagi. Mukam Karodi Vachalam Vangubilange Degirim Yat Karvadam Hamande Paramananda Madhavam. Sri Gurum Dinadarinam Sri Chaitanyamisharamobatyanadimirandasya Jnananjana Shalagaya Chachurumilidam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanyamanobhishtam Stavidam Yena Bhudale Swayam Rupagatamahim Dadandi Sabadandiyam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Udavadagamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Sri Rupam Sagrajadam Sagana Raghunadhanidam Dam Sajivam Sadvaidam Savadudam Brijanasikitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Vadan Sahana Ladada Sri Vishakha Nidamsha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagalpade Gopesha Gopiga Kanda Radha Kanda Namostude Taptakanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyacha Kripa Sindhubhya Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swamin Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deva Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vachakya Deshadarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktavaranda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Once more, welcome all devotees for our Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Hare Krishna. So, Shankar Murari Prabhu Sajjad. Okay, Hare Krishna. So, we will start with verse number 16. Prabhuji, start. Hare Krishna.
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, please.
Hare Krishna. Verse number 16. Yasam payobhihi ushadipaukasaha कुशलको विदाभियुक्त उलगसंज्ञा भगवन्तं जातवेदस्वरूपिणं कर्मकौशलेन जयन्ते यासां वायोभिः कुशाद्वीपौगसः कुशलगोविदाभियुक्तकुलगसंज्ञा भगवन्तं जातवेदस्वरूपिणं कर्मकौशलेन यजन्ते. Hare Krishna. Translation by His Divine Grace Abhijanarinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The inhabitants of the island of Kushadvipa are celebrated as the Kusha Kushalas, Kovidas, Abhiyuktas, and Kulagas. They are like the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras respectively. By bathing in the waters of those rivers, they all become purified. They are expert in performing ritualistic ceremonies according to the orders of the Vedic scriptures. Thus, they worship the Lord in his aspect as the demigod of fire. Translation once more: the inhabitants of the islands of Kushadvipa are celebrated as the Kushalas, Kovidas, Abhiyuktas, and Kulagas. They are all like the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras respectively. By bathing in the waters of those rivers, they all become purified. They are expert in performing ritualistic ceremonies according to the orders of the Vedic scriptures. Thus, they worship the Lord in his aspect as the demigod of fire. Rujal,
Yeah,
did ask
Prabhu,
the
we can yes,
purpose.
Prabhu. Continue the next one, Prabhu. Next verse.
Okay. So verse number 17 also. We'll go through that, and after that we'll explain together. See also verse number 17. Parasya Brahmana Sacha Yada Veda Asi Avyavat Vedanam Purushanganam Yajnena Purusham Yajedi Parasya Brahmana Sacha Yada Vedosi Avyavad Devanam Purushanganam Yajnena Purusham Yajedi. Hare Krishna. Translation purported by His Divine Grace Abhijanarinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. This is the mantra by which the inhabitants of Kushadvipa worship the fire god. O fire god, you are a part of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, and you carry to him all the offerings of sacrifices. Therefore, we request you to offer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead the yajnic ingredients we are offering the demigods, for the Lord is the real enjoyer. Translation once more. This is the mantra by which the inhabitants of Kushadeva worship the fire god. O fire god, you are a part of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari, and you carry to him all the offerings of sacrifices. Therefore, we request you to offer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead the yajnic ingredients we are offering the demigods, for the Lord is the real enjoyer. Oh, but the demigods are servants who assist the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If one worship the demigods as servants of the Supreme, carry the sacrificial offering to the Lord, like tax collectors collecting revenues from the citizens and bringing it to the government's treasury. The demigods cannot accept the sacrificial offerings. They simply carry the offerings to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As stated by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura, Yasya Prasada Bhagavat Prasada. Since the Guru is a representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he carries to the Lord whatever is offered to him. Similarly, all the demigods, as faithful servants of the Supreme Lord, hand over to the Supreme Lord whatever is offered to them in sacrificial performances. There is no fault in worshipping the demigods with this understanding, but to think that the demigods are independent of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and equal to him is called Hridajnana, a loss of intelligence. Kamis, Kamis Tair Hridajnana. One who thinks that the demigod themselves are the actual benefactors is mistaken. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Shikmar Prabhu. So it's a very nice translation and wonderful purport by Srila Prabhupada.
Yes.
So we are in actually Canto 5, Chapter 20, studying the structure of the universe. We are studying this structure of this universe, especially this BHÖ-MADISHALA, which is like, it is having these 7 islands. One island we already discussed from 19th chapter, that is Jambudvipa. So here Sukadeva Goswami is describing about the next 6 islands here. What are the characteristics of the 6 islands in the BHÖ-MADISHALA? So one by one, they are like concentric circles. So we are seeing this like Jambudvipa already 19th chapter we completed. Then Plakshadvipa is also discussed now. And Salmali Dvipa. Now actually we are, now we are discussing about Kushadvipa. It's an island. And so here Sukadeva Goswami is describing about how in the Kushadvipa, the inhabitants are the same like here Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. In that Dvipa, in that island, the inhabitants are Kusalas, Kovidas, Abhyuktas, and Pulakas. And also every time it is stressed that if you bath in that holy river, you become purified. So they also become purified by taking bath. So it means that purification is applicable to entire Brahmanda. Whoever is present within this means all are contaminated only. Like because they are getting purified means that means they are already contaminated by the 3 modes of material nature. Even though they are not in the earthly planet, they are in the different dvipas. Still, purification is very much required. So the Bhagavad Gita says that any inhabitants in this Brahmanda, starting from Brahma Loka up to Patala Loka, everybody is influenced by the 3 modes of material nature, and they are getting purified by bathing in the holy rivers. They are expert in performing ritualistic ceremonies according to the orders of the Vedic scriptures, and they worship the Lord, this aspect as demigod of fire. So here we said that they worship the Lord in the aspect of demigod of fire. So we know that Swamsa Vibhinnamsa, separated expansion of the Lord in the form of fire. We will go to the next verse, verse number 17. And how they worship the demigod of fire there, that mantra is given here. We already recited this. Parasya Brahmana Sakshat Jata Vedosi Abhyayat Devanam Purushanganam Yajnena Purusham Yajeti. So this is the mantra by which the inhabitants of Kushadvipa worship the fire god. What is the translation of this verse? O fire god, You are part of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Same like we are also part and parcel of Supreme Personality of Godhead. The fire god, the demigod, is also part of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari. And I always, you should remember, when we are saying part and parcel, we are like Vibhinnamsa, separated. Swamsa means personal expansions of the Lord, and Vibhinnamsa means separated expansions of the Lord. And you carry to him all the offerings of the sacrifices. Therefore, we request you to offer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead the unique ingredients we are offering to the demigods, offering the demigods. For the Lord is the real enjoyer. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam. I am actually enjoying your yajna and tapas, Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. So whatever sacrifices we are offering to any demigods here, that demigod, that offering actually reaches to the Supreme Lord. That's why the Lord's name is called Yajnapati. Yajnapati means who is actually the proprietor of all the yajnas and the enjoyer of all the yajnas. That's called Yajnapati. Lord Vishnu is called as Yajnapati. So here Prabhupada gives a very, very wonderful purport, which gives more clarity on the demigod worship. So here Prabhupada quotes, the demigods are servants who assist the Supreme Personality of God. So as he many times we have seen this example, like any organization, there is always a topmost CEO, and below the CEO, there are a lot of people who are assisting in functioning of that organization, and everybody reports to the CEO. Similarly, the Supreme Lord, or you can say any country, there is only one Prime Minister, PM, but there are many MPs, PM and MP. Reverse of PM is MP. So there are member of parliament, MPs, there are many member of parliament. So some is having the portfolio of finance, some is having the portfolio of defense, some is having the portfolio of some ministers are handling the portfolio of education, like that. And everybody reports to the Prime Minister of the country. But Prime Minister is not two. There is only one Prime Minister. So the Supreme Lord is one. Ekale Ishvara Krishna Arsha Bhritya. Everybody else is a servant. So the demigods are servants. And what is their function? Their position is servant, and their function is they assist the Supreme Personality of Godhead in managing this Brahmanda or this material universe. And people normally they worship demigods. We have seen everywhere. We are seeing our friends, our relatives, our family members, they are all worshipping demigods. If one worship demigods, what happens? The demigods, as servants of the Supreme, what they will do, whatever sacrifice we are doing, they are carrying that and offering to the Lord. And Prabhupada gives a nice analogy. Always examples are very easy to understand the philosophy. So Prabhupada uses the analogy or examples throughout his purport. So Prabhupada gives an example here, like the tax collectors. You know the word collector. The word collector came from this word because the collector means he will collect. What he will collect taxes. That's how that English word today we say is a collector, IAS collector. That word actually came from British, coined that because collector means one who will collect the taxes from the citizens. So that position is called as collector. So here you can see same Prabhupada is telling this like a tax collector collecting the revenue from the citizens. And what he will do, whatever the collected taxes, he will bring it to the government treasury. That's how the government is functioning by the citizens' taxes. Who is the representative to collect the tax? The collector. The same way, the demigods cannot accept the sacrificial offerings. They simply carry the offerings to the Supreme Personality of God. So if you go to any proper Vishnu temple, there will be demigods also there. Like they say in Jagannath Puri also, the Devi is there. So the first they will offer to the first they will offer to the Lord, and either they will offer as a prasadam to the Devi, or it is offered to the demigod. The demigod will offer it on behalf of to the Supreme Lord on behalf of us. Same way, like when we are offering to the Lord, when we are offering bhoga in our home also, we are offering to the spiritual master. The spiritual master is actually the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because we are not worshipping any demigods. So through spiritual master, we are chanting his mantra first. Then by that we are offering. And similarly, the morning, the Mangalarti prayer also, first we are offering to the spiritual master. So through that, we are actually connecting to the Supreme Lord. So very important. That is the channel how we are approaching the Supreme Lord. So Prabhupada quotes here from Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. We know that we are singing that every day morning. Guru Ashtakam, Yasya Prasadat, Bhagavat Prasado, Yasya Prasada, Nagati Kutopi, Dhyayan Suam Sasya, Yasya Sandhya, Mande Guru Sri Charanarabindam. Yasya Prasadat, Bhagavat Prasado means The Guru is the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Say, same way, like the demigod is the representative, the Guru is actually representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He carries to the Lord whatever is offered to him. So it goes through the Guru Parapara, then the offering is given to Srimati Radharani, and Srimati Radharani only offers to Krishna, whatever we offer. That is the channel. Similarly, all the demigods, as faithful servants of the Supreme Lord, hand over to the Supreme Lord. So those who don't have spiritual master, those who did not surrender to a Guru, how they will offer? They will offer through the demigods. And those who have accepted a Guru in their life, they have taken Siksha or Diksha, then they will offer through the Guru. So two ways of offering to the Lord. One is through the demigods, those who are not taken shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. They offer their sacrifices to the Supreme Lord through the demigods. And those who have taken shelter of a bona fide spiritual master, instead of offering through the demigods, they offer through the spiritual master. Sakshat Daritvena Samasta Sastre. The Supreme, the Guru is actually the bona fide representative of the Supreme Personality of God. So that is there always Prabhupada says that the Guru actually represents actually the Supreme Lord. Whatever we offer the respects to the Guru, it actually is actually offering to the Supreme Lord. And Prabhupada gives example, again, one more example Prabhupada gives, like, if anyone, like one country is there, like we have the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we have our minister, right? He is like Jai Shankar. So he goes to another country on behalf of India. So when he is going there, if he is properly respected and received there, he goes frequently, travels to many countries as a representative of India. And he is welcomed there. And whatever respect he is getting, it is not for the person, it is for the country. So if he is insulted, it is not that he is insulted. They are insulting the country only. So because he is representing the whole India when he is going for a meeting. So similarly, that representative, the Guru is actually the representative of the Lord. Whatever respects, worship you are giving to that person, personality, that is actually uh, reaching to the Supreme Lord. And if you are insulting him, that is also insulting the Supreme Lord. That's why the first offense of this chanting the holy name is to actually disrespect the orders of the, like, to blaspheme the devotees who are dedicated the life for propagating the holy name of the Lord. So, because they are actually performing the service to the Lord, and if you blaspheme them, that means you are actually blaspheming the Lord. That's why they say that we should be very careful with Vaishnavas, dealing with Vaishnavas. We should never blaspheme them. And if at all we don't like them, we can always maintain a distance. That is not a problem. But we should not blaspheme them. That is the greatest offense. Krishna does not tolerate any offense to his devotees. So, because it is offending the devotees also is also equivalent to offending the Lord. So one more important point here Prabhupada mentions. It's a very important point we should understand. There is no fault in worshipping the demigods. See, this is one point. Because people, when you worship demigods, sometimes people may think it is wrong. Krishna also said, Avadi Purvakam. Why Krishna says like that? Prabhupada clarifies here. There is no fault in worshipping the demigods. The main important thing is with this understanding. What is that understanding? That they are part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of God. With that understanding, we can always worship any demigod with the mantra. We are saying this, Vancha Kalpataribhascha Kripa Sindhu Vyavacha Adidana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. You are actually empowered, or you are the servant of the Lord, and I want to develop my attachment towards the Supreme Lord. Like that, we can always pray if you are passing by any demigod temple. So that's why Prabhupada is saying there is no fault in worshipping the demigods with this understanding. But the second offense to the holy name is to think the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be independent. See, the word is there. Independent means they are also equally powerful like the Supreme Lord. To be independent, think the demigods are independent or greater than the Supreme Personality of God. So that is an offense to the holy name again. So the first also offense is there. Second offense also there. To think that the demigods are independent. So because in Hinduism, normally people think that whatever Devata, Ishta Devata, they say Ishta Devata, many so-called Swamis, they preach like that. You can pray to any god and you can get the same result. Krishna never agrees to that. Yanti Deva Vrita Deva, Pitrin Yanti Pitrinata, Bhutani Yanti Bhuteja, Madhyajina Yanti Mamapi. Last week also we discussed the same verse, that not all people will reach the same destination. So human life is like a junction. You can take any kind of destination, like a train junction. What worship you are doing, accordingly you get the destination. So, generally, easiest way to understand our Hindu Dharma is people say, oh, you worship any god. Everything is same. So there is no argument, there is no fighting, there is no this one. But when you say that, okay, Krishna is supreme, then people who are worshipping other demigods, they are not happy. If you say you worship a demigod and worship Krishna also, they are ready to worship, majority of people. But if you say you should worship only Krishna, then problem will start. People will start arguing. Oh, you people are telling only one
Yes,
God. No, this
yes,
is not our culture. You are against our scripture. You are against our culture. We are worshipping all the God. You are also like Christians, saying there is only one God. We are not like that. We are accommodating. We will worship every God. For us, all God are same. There is nothing called special God or supreme God. Like that, they will argue.
yes.
But that is
So,
due to lack of knowledge in the scriptures. Because Bhagavatam very clearly says, Bhagavad Gita very clearly says, Sarvadharman Parityaja Mam Ekam, only to
Sharanam.
me.
Yes, yes.
Sharam Raja. So, in that way, we can, but always when we preach to the new people, we should not very much be very strict on that. Like people may get offended or people may get insulted because of that. We should always gradually only, when people come, like we were also worshipping demigods before coming to Krishna consciousness, you know. So it is not that we were like from birth we are worshipping Krishna, everybody worship like that. But once we got the knowledge, we understand, we respect all the demigods, we also worship them, that we should get prema for Krishna. So we should always understand that demigods are not independent. They are dependent on Krishna. Same like we are dependent on Krishna, they are also dependent on Krishna. And also they are not equal to him also. And that is the second of the result. So people think like that. Prabhupada says, quotes the 7th chapter, verse number 20, Kame sthite hitajnana prapadyante anya devata. Krishna clearly says, when the heart is actually covered, the Hrita Jnana means the Jnana in the heart is covered by Kama, by material enjoyment, propensity. Then they are losing the intelligence and they are seeing every God is same and they can go to any God. Like that, the Jnana, the real knowledge is Jivera Swarupaya Krishnera Nityadas. But that knowledge is covered when we want to enjoy this material world. People think that all the God is same. Any God, if I go, I can enjoy this material world by their blessings. So that is 7.20. In 7.7 chapter only, too much verses are there differentiating demigods and the supreme lord. So many slokas Krishna is saying that, even if some person is getting faith on a particular demigod, it is also because of me. Because I am sitting in the heart and I am seeing that this person is worshipping this demigod. Let me make his faith very strong. So anybody worshipping any demigod very sincerely, that is also because of mercy of Krishna. And again, Krishna says, whatever they get from the demigod, that also given by me only. They are praying to the demigod, and the demigod finally, when I am sanctioning, the demigod will sanction. So instead of going through a longer route, directly come to me. So it is said that they are discussing in Islam or Christianity, there is a thing that God is very jealous. Jealous means he want only to worship him. So sometimes people argue that why Krishna throughout Bhagavata is telling only worship me, only worship me, only worship me. It is not kind of jealous. He is telling only worship me. Don't worship any demigod. If you worship demigod, you are less intelligent. And I am only the source. I am everything. I am. Why Krishna is telling again and again? So people sometimes they ask like. So the explanation given is Krishna is not jealous. Krishna is zealous. Zealous means jealous is J. Jealousy, jealousy, what is anartha. Zealous means Zealous. Zealous means enthusiastic. Krishna is very enthusiastic. He don't want us to suffer more. In that way, he is very enthusiastic to welcome us. Tell, no, no, don't go there. Come here. Like we advise our children. No, 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 don't go to that place in the night time. If you go there, you will land into problem. Don't go in unknown places. Every time our children go to some place, you call them, ask, oh, are you safe? Everything you landed safely? Don't go there. Only don't take food there. Because we are so much caring that our son should not suffer. Same way that compassion Krishna is having and so much enthusiasm Krishna wants us back very quickly. In that he is stressing this point and again that don't go there, don't go here. Come to me. I will take care. Don't worry. Ma Suchaha. Krishna says, Ma Suchaha, do not worry. I will take care of everything. So that is called zealous. Is that zealous? Zealous means very enthusiastic and very eager to receive us back. And that is actually a devotee understands Krishna's mood and he is actually engaging in the preaching service because he knows that Krishna is very zealous. He wants. So he takes up that service of Krishna and Krishna says, who are preaching, they are more dear to me because they are taking what I want, they are doing. Like a son is doing what the father wants, the father is very happy. So like that. If the son does what father does not want, the father is very upset. So the people who are giving this knowledge to others, they are very dear to Krishna because what Krishna wants, they know. And what Krishna likes, they execute that. So that is said here, zealous. One who thinks that the demigod themselves are actual benefiters is actually mistaken. So this one point we learn from Bhagavatam and from the Acharyas that who is thinking that demigods themselves are the actual benefactors, it is wrong because Krishna repeatedly says in Bhagavatam in many verses that whatever I am Yajnapati, whatever you offer to them, it is coming to me. In the same way, Krishna also says in third chapter that you offer your obeisances or sacrifices to demigods and live happily. That is initial stage who was not willing to offer the respect to the Lord, who cannot surrender to the Krishna, they can initially go to the demigods so that they will at least accept a person superior to them. They will bow down, they will do some worship. By that, gradually they will develop purification. That's why Krishna is saying demigod worship on the third chapter also. So we should very clearly understand, as every scriptures are there in this world, whether Gita or Quran or Bible, they all propagate only one Lord. And very clearly, every scripture says that nobody else is equal or superior to that one Lord. And that, according to Bhagavad Gita, is Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The demigods are his part and parcels who are assisting him. And if at all we worship the demigod, we should worship with the right understanding that they are fully dependent on the Supreme Lord and they are never equal to him or never independent of him. That's what we are understanding from this 17. Hare Krishna. So,
Hare Krishna.
devotees, if you have any questions or comments on this, you can please discuss.
Yes, Prabhu. Yesterday, Hare Krishna, Dandapanam.
Dandapanam, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Yesterday also we discussed the same sloga because the lust, because of the desire, we are approaching the demigods. So that is only the way is we have to approach Krishna. So here it says that those who are approaching Hridajnana, loss of intelligence, that word is used here. So today morning also we discussed about the same in Timothy Mataji discussing about that. Yeah, we have to, how if we want to approach the demigod, why? So we have the understanding that they are the servitor of the Supreme Lord. So we can approach them, at least they are the
Respect them.
Yeah, we have to respect them. We have to understand that one, because we have to pray them for, we have give the power to, we have to the power to serve Krishna.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very.
And also, Prabhu, here Prabhupada writes, there is no fault in worshipping the demigods also with this understanding.
Yeah, yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
If you know the proper understanding that they are part and parcel, there is no fault in worship.
Yeah.
Like that, Prabhupada has written in the purport.
Also, Prabhu explained the two points here. Blasphemy the devotees are equal, not disoffending the Lord. Also, the demigods are not, demigods are independent. That are 2 points.
They are not independent or they are not equal. 2 points.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhu. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Sadhana Sham Prabhu. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. So if there are no further discussion, we can go to the next. I think next few verses actually is all without purport. So we can go, we'll read the recite the verse translation and go to the next verses till we get the purport. Hare Krishna.
Yes, so 18 only translation. 19 also translation only.
Yeah.
19, 20. So 3.
Because there is not much discussion, Prabhu. That is only describing about the island and what is there, like that.
So 18, 19, 20 we will start now.
Recite the verses, yes, verses and translation.
Yeah. Okay. Now verse number 18 who is reading. Nobody want to read?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mother.
Hare Krishna. तथा कृतोदात्तिः क्रौञ्चदीपो द्विगुणः स्वमानेन क्षीरोदेन हरित उपक्लिप्तो कृतो यथा कुशद्दीपो कृतोदेन यस्मिन् क्रौञ्चो नाम पर्वतराजो दीपानां निवर्तक आस्ते तथा कृतोदात्तिः क्रौञ्चदीपो द्विगुणः स्वमानेन क्षीरोदेन हरित उपक्लिप्तो कृतो यथा कुशद्दीपो कृतोदेन यस्मिन् क्रौञ्चो नाम पर्वतराजो दीपानां निर्वर्तक आस्ते. Translation. Outside the ocean of clarified water is another island known as Kraunjadipa, which has a width of 1,16,000.
So 1 million, no? 1 million 600,000. 600,000.
1 crore 60,
Yeah.
6 lakh
16 lakhs
yojanas.
also we can say, right? 16 lakhs.
16 lakh yojanas. 12 crore.
Yes.
12 crore 80 million miles. Twice the width of the ocean of clarified butter. As Kushadipa is surrounded by an ocean of clarified butter, Kraunjadipa is surrounded by an ocean of milk as broad as the island itself. On Kraunjadipa, there is a great mountain known as Kraunja, from which the island takes its name. Translation once more. Outside the ocean of clarified water is another island known as Kraunjadipa, which has a width of
16 lakhs.
16 lakhs, twice the width of the ocean of clarified butter. As Kraunjadipa is surrounded by an ocean of clarified butter, Kraunjadipa is surrounded by an ocean of milk as broad as the island itself. On Kraunjadipa, there is a great mountain known as Kraunja, from which the island takes its name.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
So,
Continue, Mataji.
okay.
Yes.
19.
19. Yosau Grihapraharano मदिद नितम्बकुञ्जोऽपि क्षीरोदे नासिच्यमानो भगवता वरुणेनाभिगुप्तो विभयो बभूव योऽसौ गुहप्रहरणोन्मदिद नितम्बकुञ्जो अपि नासिच्यमानो भगवता वरुणेनाभिगुप्तो विभयो बभूव. Translation. Although the vegetables living on the slopes of Mountain Kraunja were attacked and devastated by the weapons of Kartikeya, the mountain has become fearless because it is always bathed in all sides by the ocean of milk and protected by Varunadeva. Translation once more. Although the vegetables living on the slopes of Mount Kraunja were attacked and devastated by the weapons of Kartikeya, the mountain has become fearless because it is always bathed in all sides by the ocean of milk and protected by Varunadeva.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Verse number 20 also.
20 also. तस्मिन्नपि प्रयव्रतो कृतपृष्ठो नामाधिपति स्वे दीपे वर्षाणि सप्त विभज्य तेषु पुत्रनामसु सप्तरिक्तादान् वर्षपान् निवेश्य स्वयं भगवान् भगवतः परमकल्याण यशस आत्मभूतस्य हरे चरणारविन्दमुपजगाम. तस्मिन्नपि प्रयव्रतो कृतपृष्ठो नामाधिपति स्वे दीपे वर्षाणि सप्त विभज्य तेषु पुत्रनामस्य सप्तरिक्तादान् वर्षपान् निवेश्य स्वयं भगवान् भगवतः परमकल्याण यशस आत्मभूतस्य हरे चरणारविन्दमुपजगाम. Translation. The ruler of this island was another son of Maharaja Priyavrata. His name was Krataprashta, and he was a very learned scholar. He also divided his own island among his 7 sons. After dividing the island into 7 parts, named according to the names of his sons, Kritaprashta Maharaja completely retired from family life and took shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord, the soul of all souls, who has all auspicious qualities. Thus he attained perfection. Translation once more. The ruler of this island was another son of Maharaja Priyavrata. His name was Kritaprashta, and he was a very learned scholar. He also divided his own island among his 7 sons. After dividing his island into 7 parts, named according to the names of his sons, Kritaprashta Maharaja completely retired from family life and took shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord, the soul of all souls, who has all auspicious qualities. Thus he attained perfection.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maji. Oh, 17, 18, 19, 20 we are at Varaji. Okay. Back to 18, Varaji.
No, Prabhu, 21 is there, Prabhu.
21 also.
Yeah.
21. 21 also. Cancellation. Okay, sorry.
21 and we can complete up to 22.
20.
21 and 22. We will complete today up to 22.
Okay. 20. Okay, 21. Sorry. Okay, anybody else reading? 21. Okay, I will read Raji. Verse number 21. Amo Madhuruho Megha Prishta Sudhama Brajishto Lohidarno Navas Padididi Krida Prashta Sudashtesham Varshagiraya Saptaiva Nadyachabhigyadaha Shuklo Vardhamano Bhojana Upavarhino Nando Nandanaha Sarvadobhadra Idi Bhabhaya Amrdaukha Aryaga Tirthavadi Vrittirubavadi Pavitravadi Shukledi Amo Madhuruho Megha Prishtaha Sudhama Brajishto Lohidarno Navaspadididi Krida Prishta Sudastesham Varshagirayah Saptaiva Nadyachabhigyadaha Shuklo Vardhamano Bhojana Upabarhino Nando Nandanaha Sarvadobhadra Idi Abhaya Amrdaghau Aryagatirthavadi Vrittirubavadi Pavitravadi Shukledi. Translation by His Divine Grace Abhicharanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. Sorry. The sons of Maharaja Kritaprastha were named Ama, Madhuruha, Meghaprastha, Sudhama, Brajishta, Lohidarna, and Vanaspati. In their islands, there are 7 mountains which indicate the boundaries of the 7 tracts of land, and there are also 7 rivers. The mountains are named Shukla, Vardhamana, Bhojana, Ubabarhina, Nanda, Nandana, and Sarvadobhadra. The rivers are named Abhaya, Amruduga, Aryaga, Tirthavadi, Rubavadi, Pavitravadi, and Shukla. Okay, Hare Krishna. Next, verse number 22. Yasamambha pavitramamamalu amamalamuvayyada purusha rishabhadra idabhadra vina devagasamya varshapurusha abomayam devamabam Purnenanjalina Yajade Yasamambha Pavitra Mamalamubayujnana Purusha Rishabhadra Vina Devagasabnya Sarva Purusha Abomayam Devamabam Purnenanjalina Yajande. Hare Krishna. Translation. The inhabitants of Kurunchadiba are divided into four castes called the Purushas, Rishabhas, Dravinas, and Devagas. Devagas. Using the waters of those sanctified rivers, they worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead by offering a palmful of water at the lotus feet of Varuna, the demigod who has a form of water. The inhabitants of Kranchadipa are divided into four castes called the Purushas, Rishabhas, Dravinas, and Devagas. Using the waters of those sanctified rivers, they worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead by offering a palmful of water at the lotus feet of Varuna, the demigod who has a form of water. Popat. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura says, Abomaya Samaya, with joined palms, the inhabitants of the various sections of Karanchadeva offer the sanctified waters of the rivers to a deity made of stone or iron.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So we are discussing now. Now we discussed already Kushadvipa. Kushadvipa is surrounded by clarified butter, and we also discussed about the Priyavarta Maharaj's son, who had Hiranyareta, and all the 7 sons are names are there: Vasudhana, Dhrudaruchi, Suttavrata, Nabhigupta, Vivikta, and Vamadeva. Okay, so Kushadvipa is completed. Now next we come actually Kraunchadvipa. Kraunchadvipa is actually surrounded by milk ocean. And in that also the verses were saying about who was the Priyavarta Maharaj's son's name is Rataprashta. And he also had 7 sons. And the names are recited here: Ama, Maduruha, Meghaprashta, Sudama, Prajishta, Rohitarna, and Vanaspati. So in this verse actually they are saying that how they worship the Lord. That before we saw that they worship the demigod in the form of fire. Here they are worshiping the demigod who has taken the form of water, that is Varunadev. And Prabhupada writes in the purport, it refers from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Apomaya Asmayam. With joined palms, the inhabitants of various sections of Kraunchadipa offer the sanctified waters of the rivers to the deity made of stone or iron. So we know the deity They are making the deity worship, and the mantra which they are worshipping, similar to the one we saw the mantra for Kushadipa. The next verse will be actually the mantra which is actually worshipping for the Lord made up for the Varunadi. So that is what we are discussing. So there are totally after Kavancha Deepa, we have this Sakka Deepa and Pushkara Deepa. So and then the same verses will go like who was the son's name of Priyavata Maharaj, and their son's name, 7 sons' names will be described. And last will be the Pushkara Deepa. So that is this one discussion. So here also there are 4 castes. They are called as Purushas, Rishabhas, Dravinas, and Devakas. And throughout we are seeing they are all worshipping the Lord with the holy water. They are taking bath and then getting purified. So this is what we are. And 23, I think, speaker one. Maybe tomorrow we can see next class. That is actually mantra. Mantra. Now they are worshipping.
23
So any discussion on whatever we discussed today, something is there, we can discuss now.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So these are all very new information for us through Bhagavatam. There are so many islands, the Bhūmandala. I shared the presentation also, Prabhu, last time, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Yes, yes.
Whatever I collected, I put it in some slides, like whatever the Manu periods, who are the Manus, and the different, this whatever information. Yeah.
Can we complete that one, Prabhu? 2 more sloka?
2 more. You want to complete, Prabhu? With 23, you will recite the words and translation. It will take time.
It has purport.
You want to go for the next one also?
Yeah, you can complete 2 more. Yeah.
23.
5 minutes, no problem.
Yeah, for me, there is no problem. If
Okay,
Shikmar Prabhu is okay.
Yeah, yes, 23 is with a small purport. So
yeah, 23 and 24. And we can finish today. So both we can recite 23 and 24.
24 is not having purport also. Okay.
Yeah, so up to 24 we can. Or we can go up to 23.
Yeah.
Because 24 we can start from tomorrow.
No problem. Okay.
Okay,
we'll see. Okay, 23, 24, somebody want to read or I will?
No, only 23. We'll discuss 23 today. 24 we can see tomorrow because 23 purport is there, no? So we'll discuss from 23.
Yeah. Okay.
24 we will start from tomorrow.
Okay, Bharaji. Okay, verse number 23. Apa Purusha Viryasta Vinandir Bhuvasuvaha Dana Vinidami Bagni Spashadamatmana Bhuva Idi Apaha Purusha Viryasta Vinandir Bhuvasuvaha Dana पुनीदामिवघ्नि स्पृशदात्मना भुव इति. Translation purport by His Divine Grace Abhijnana Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: the inhabitants of Kranchadipa worship with this mantra. O water of the rivers, you have obtained energy from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, you purify the 3 planetary systems known as Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, and Swarloka. By your constitutional nature, you take away sins, and that is why we are touching you. Kindly continue to pray us. Purify us. Purify us. Translation once more. The inhabitants of Kranchadipa worship with the mantra, O water of the rivers, you have obtained energy from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, you purify the 3 planetary systems known as Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, and Swarloka. By your constitutional nature, you take away sins, and that is why we are touching you. Kindly continue to purify us. Purport. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 7.4. Bhagavad Gita 7.4. Bhumir abo analo vayuh kham mano buddhir evacha ahankara idiyam me bhinna prakritir ashtadha. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. All together, these eight comprise my separated material energies. The energy of the Lord acts throughout the creation just as heat and light. The energies of the sun act with the universe and make everything work. The specific rivers mentioned in the Shastras are also energies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and people who regularly bathe in them are purified. It can actually be seen that many people are cured of diseases simply by bathing in the Ganges. Similarly, the inhabitants of Karanchadipa purify themselves by bathing in the rivers there. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. So again here the mantra is given here, how they are very beautifully praying. You see how systematically they are praying. Like, oh, the inhabitants of Karanchadipa, they are reciting this wonderful mantra, oh, water of the rivers. And they are relating that you have obtained the energy from the Supreme Personality of God. So that means they are connecting the demigod with the Supreme Lord. Therefore, you purify the three planetary system, that is Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, and Swargaloka. Bhur, Bhuva, Swa, we say. By your constitutional nature, you take away sins, and that is why we are touching you. Kindly continue to purify. So they are asking, praying for purification. And Prabhupada writes in the purport, he refers to the sloka in Bhagavatam 7.4, Bhumi Raponalo Vayu Kammano Buddhirevacha Ahankara Itiyambe Binna Prakriti Rashtada. So these are separated energies of the Lord, earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, false ego. All are separated energies, material energies. Prabhupada gives an example like what is separated energy. Prabhupada is saying like if I am speaking in my dictaphone or that is recorded and then you hear the lecture, it is me, I only spoke, but now it is separated. Now you are hearing the proper lecture. That is a separated energy. So like this is earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, the false ego are all actually separated energies of the Lord. It has come from the Lord, but it is now separated. So the energy of the Lord acts throughout the creation. Prabhupada gives example how sun is at one place, but the heat and light is throughout the universe. Now, if you see the sun is there here in Kuwait, as well as if you go to India, also the same sun is there. It's spread throughout, even though there is one sun at one location, it is spread throughout the universe, and it makes everything work. Similarly, the energy of the Lord is acting throughout the entire creation. Energetic and energy. Krishna is energetic, and yes, innumerable energies. Parashya Sakti, Vividya, Shriyate. The specific rivers mentioned in the Shastra are also energies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So all these, whatever you see, mountain, rivers, everything is actually the separated energies of the Lord. And people who regularly bathe in them are purified. So we saw throughout the verses that people bathe in this river and get purified. It can actually be seen that many people are cured of diseases simply by bathing in the Ganges. So Ganges, we know every time if you go, there is so much crowd. People are taking bath in, and this is our part of our culture that we visit the holy rivers and we take bath in. Similarly, the inhabitants of Karanchadipa purify themselves by bathing in the rivers there, which is present in their island. So that is what here. I think next verse will go to 24. We'll go to the next Dvipa. Actually, it is actually, which is the next Dvipa is actually Sakadvipa. So we have completed up to Karanchadipa, which is surrounded by milk ocean. Now next will be Sakadvipa, which is surrounded by emulsified yogurt. Then one more is there, Pushkara Dvipa. So along with this, there are also descriptions about the mountains present there and the rivers. 7 mountains and 7 rivers are there in almost every island. There are 7 mountains and 7 rivers. And the rivers names also given in Bhagavatam and the mountain name also is given in Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Prabhu. Thank you.
So here just whatever until we have to connect with the Supreme
Supreme
Lord.
Lord.
Yeah.
Yes. Then it becomes complete.
Complete. Yeah.
Yes.
That's a main point. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Very important.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Shivana Prabhuji. Dandat Pranam.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for giving this opportunity also. I am also learning. Hare Krishna. So if there are any other points we can discuss, otherwise we can end today's session. And we will be having today evening Chaitanya Charitamrita class. Today I think we will start the new chapter, chapter 15 from Adi Leela.
15. Yes.
15. Yes. So that is pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That will start today evening by His Grace Chaitanya Chandra Prabhu, 7 p.m. local time and Indian time 9:30 p.m. So devotees who are free, please join the class. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, thank you, Prabhu. So
Hare Krishna.
thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you all devotees for joining. Please do join tomorrow also. Hare Krishna. So we will chant the 3 times Hare Krishna Mahamantra for Shivana Prabhuji as well as all the devotees who are present today. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare